It's your girl, Gel Beauty 87 here, and today I figured we could talk about some brands I feel like shined in 2020. I got a lot of indie brands, believe it or not, because I feel like they were the ones that got to shine, because since they didn't have a storefront and have to depend on foot traffic, if you will, that they would benefit more from the pandemic, as sad as that is, just because, you know, people couldn't necessarily go anywhere and buy stuff. And when you're at home and you're bored, you see this indie brand that you've been wanting to try, and then they have a special on something, then you go ahead and buy it. So I was somewhat inspired to make this video by what is it, Julia Mazzucato, but at the same time I had did something like this in the past, and I feel like I'm just kind of rehashing it. But since I did watch her video, I figured I would give some credit to it, because it like re-sparked me to want to make a newer version of it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So I got quite a few indie brands here, of course, because like I said, I feel like indie brands benefited more than, you know, other brands. Not that I didn't buy from everybody, because I bought from a lot of department stores that had luxury stuff as well. But I did end up finding myself buying a lot more indie makeup that I had wanted to try, simply because, you know, I was at home and I could order stuff online and get it sent to my house, even though I'm not a person who goes in stores as a general rule anyway, and there's an Ulta around the corner from my house and I still don't go. So I just prefer to order things online. That's just how I am. I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to have to be bothered with it. And since I'm pretty good at picking foundation shades online, I don't have to worry about that. But I mean, if you like in-store shopping, I guess that's fine. Let's go ahead and get started. I got only one indie brand to talk about that specializes in one thing, because the rest of the brands pretty much have other things, not just one thing. So I'll start off with that brand. Of course, that brand is Proper Beauty. So I have almost a whole collection of their lipsticks. If you are going to buy these lipsticks, use the code KH Makeup. That's Karen Harris's code. I believe you get 15% off when you use it. And I think they're having 35% off sale right now. And then you get additional 15% off. If you want to see these colors on someone who's tan, go watch Karen Harris's video, because she made a video about their sale on these lipsticks. I believe I have 7 of these lipsticks. I have 7 or 8. Like I said, I almost have the whole collection. But the newest one I bought that I'm holding right here is the shade Profits. So this is what it looks like. I haven't tried it out yet. I'll let you know, or I'll try it in a video with you all. I tried the other shade, Her Magic, in the foundation video with you all that just went up today. This is the shade Focus. I have used this one a few times, as you can see from the bullet. It's a nice little shade. I'll swatch the ones I already used just so you can see what the colors look like and some of my skin tone. But my favorite shades are, what's it? Believe It. I like Believe It. I like Victorious. I like Finesse, and I believe it was Focus. But I also like these as well, like Limitless, which I'm about to swatch now. So this is the shade Focused, and this is Limitless. Like, I really like this for when I don't put on Miami Lights, because I usually just put on Miami Lights. I love all the oranges that Kathleen Lights picks out. So when I'm not wearing Miami Lights, I wear it's the other one she has called Revere. It's a brighter red, but when I want a more glossy finish to the lip instead of a matte one, I definitely reach for my shade Focused here, because it's just a gorgeous shade. And I feel like this brand did exceptionally well in 2020, because I feel like they premiered, then they were on Good Morning America deals. So they definitely had their moment to shine, and a lot of people been talking about them. I also wanted to mention Minted Cosmetics. I don't have any of their lipsticks here though, but I definitely feel like their brand did really well in 2020 as well. They're like on Oprah's list of favorite things this year, which I definitely congratulate them. And they made it their way into Target. So I'm just elated with these black brands out here doing big things. They just out here doing big things, and I'm just, like I said, elated. Minted has way more products than Proper Beauty does though. And Minted is having 30% off sale if anybody's interested. But they have foundation stick, which I really love. I wear the shade T40 if anyone's curious. I have the setting powder from them. That is like one of my all-time favorite setting powders, like to use just at all. I have the shade Medium Deep, I believe is the shade, but they have like 3 shades. I think they have light. I think they have Fair Light, Light, Medium, and then Medium Deep. But Medium Deep is my personal favorite, and their powder is so reasonably priced. It's only 25 bucks. And then they're having 30% off sale on top of it. So it's like, honey, it's just the business. The other brand I want to talk about is Beauty Bakery. I am obsessed with their setting powder as well. I have the shade Plantain. It's a darker shade of banana powder, if you will. Kind of like the Juvia's Place one I showed you all in yesterday's video with the and Black Friday deals and whatnot. They have amazing setting powders. They have amazing face powders. Matter of fact, let me show you the face product that I have from them here, because I left one here and it's currently on sale for like $10. I believe I told y'all that in the video yesterday though. But this powder right here, like the bronzer in here, is amazing. This blush is really nice, and I like this highlighter. It is wonderful. They were out here killing. They were one of the black owned brands that made bronzers this year. So was Minted. As a matter of fact, let me show you Minted's bronzer as well. So I feel like this was just a hell of a year for some of the black owned brands, especially since they're online only and you could only get them online. Where is this bronzer, child? I know it's in here. I'm over here on the struggle bus. Yeah. So here's the Minted bronzer right here. It's in the shade Got Life. They originally did one with someone named Ashley Blaine Featherston. I don't know who that is. I think they said she was on that Dear White People show, the movie that they had with the girl from the Thor movies that they turned into a TV show on Netflix. I believe that's where she's from. Don't quote me though, but this is the one that's for my skin tone. Now, mind you, this is the only one they say that has shimmer in it. So it has shimmery, like greenish gold particles in it. I feel like they don't really show up on the face that much. I was just confused as to why they were in there. I don't know if this was a difficult color to make, and so they had to put them in there so it would blend out smoother or what. But I know the lip bars, what do you call it? Bronzer has the same situation going on with it. It's a little bit lighter than that one though. That one I feel like is more like a summer bronzer for me with the red undertone in it. And then there's like more of a winter bronzer for me. Speaking of the lip bar, I feel like they did an exceptional job this year too. This concealer, y'all, like, I tried their foundation and concealer. Now, the foundation I don't like, but in all fairness, we all know I'm not a light coverage type of girl. So that foundation doesn't work for me simply because it's more of a lighter coverage foundation. But the concealer, oh my God, y'all, this concealer. Go grab this concealer. They're having a sale right now as well. Go grab this concealer while it's on sale. Go grab the bronzer and blush duo while it's on sale. Go grab it. I wear the shade Cinnamon 400. And this concealer, I love it. If you like a more light coverage foundation, because I feel like more of their products are more like for the on-the-go person who has perfect skin and you just add it on really quick and be out the door. And that's not necessarily my aesthetic. So that's why I don't buy a lot from the brand. And plus, we all know lip products are the easiest thing for me to declutter and get rid of. So I'm not really trying to buy a lip product. So that's why a lot of times you don't see them on my channel. It's not I have a problem supporting the brand. It's just more of I don't really like these simple coverage things. So it's like I don't really talk about them as much for that reason. But that concealer is bomb and you need to get it. Yes, Adriangameover, what are you doing? Okay, then. Yeah. So, those are just some of the black-owned brands I had. The last black-owned brand I have is, of course, Juvia's Place. They was out here killing it. They came out with a whole set of lip collections. This is one of the lip glosses I got, when they had their, I think it was 40% off sale or 45% off sale or something like that. This is the shade Barely There. I haven't tried it yet. It's more, I feel like it matches the lipstick I have on nice. So let's try it on and see if it does. I don't know. See, it's more of like a peachy-ish type color. Yeah, Blush is a lipstick I have on pretty well, actually. And that's what the color looks like. So if you like to wear nudes like this with like contoured lip type situation, I definitely recommend this one. Now this one does have that like lemon pledge smell to it that the lip gloss that they made with Fumi Desan had, and I don't necessarily like that smell, so I don't know how often I will use this one just because I don't like the smell of it. But the other ones don't seem to have that smell. So I don't know if it's just when they make like certain colors, it ends up smelling like that. But they killed it this year with their lip products. Like I have 6 of their lipsticks and I think they only have like 4 of each shade. And I have like 2 of each shade. I had one on earlier today, but I ended up eating it all. So I had to put on the lipstick I have on now. But I still have on their lip liner. I have the lip liner Cola on. And the lipsticks I recommend from them are the first 3 I bought. I recommend 4. The one I had on today is called Chic. It's in the mauve section. Then they have one called a Mauve Moment, which of course y'all know I love me a mauve lipstick, so I had to have that one. They have the shade In Vogue, which is more of a peachy type shade. I really like that one. And then they have the shade Muted. That's a really nice shade as well. So those are lipstick shades I recommend from them. But you should definitely try their lipstick formula. I feel like they had a great year because they came out with so many eyeshadow palettes. I was trying to find the 2 I had here, but I think I might have taken them back home because I had the Sweet pinks here, and then I have the Nubian Royal, which is the purple palette that they came out with for the holidays. I still have the Wahala one here, but surprisingly enough, that one isn't on sale, which I found weird. But the new one is on sale, the Wahala 2 that they came out with for the holidays. Anyway, I feel like that brand just shined this year because it's like they came out with these releases and everybody was still buying them. Everybody still loves them. I feel like they're having a lot of good sales right now too. So if you want to get on it, you should definitely get on it. Like a lot of their stuff is 50% off and it's just an exceptional deal. So go ahead and grab it. So do I have any of that other Juvia's Place stuff over here before I get started? Okay, so let's get into some of the other indie brands now. Kaleidos, I feel like they did a good job this year and their brand definitely shined because people had already been talking about them the year before and waiting for them to come out with more palettes, and then they came out with 3 more palettes this year, so I feel like they definitely kept them on people's radars. They came out with lip products as well, but I'm not really big on their lip products. Their lip glosses are okay, like these right here, what is it, the Lucid Lip. This is a lip gloss. It's the shade Hypnotize. I bought it when they had the what collection was that, the Escape Pod. I bought it when the Escape Pod came out. I'm just showing you this one so you can see what their palettes look like. They actually don't make this one anymore, so I'm sorry. But this is the VR Neon number 4. And then I think they don't make number 5 anymore either. It was like one that reminded me of the Show Perry, the Platypus. Like that's what the colors in the palette reminded me of. But anyway, so their format of palettes is like this. If you have not seen them or seen the videos on them, because I had a video comparing this one to the Melt Cosmetics Radioactive palette as opposed to Stack. This is what it looks like. And then I had some other ones from them, but I sold all of them on Mercari because I already had like Melt palettes that were exact same color as them. So I was like, I didn't feel the need to have them. But yeah, this brand definitely shined this year. I didn't buy the neutral palette that they had that was named after sushi, but I did get the purple one and I made some nice looks with it. My favorite palette from them is the Lunar Lavender one. The Astral Pink is my all-time favorite palette from them. Like out of any palettes they have, that's the 3rd one. And then I like the Escape Pod. Okay, so if I had to tell you to pick any palettes from Kaleidos, those are my 3 personal picks. The next brand I have to talk about, believe it or not, is Glam Light. So I know y'all saw my video about the big palette, and I found out what it is. I don't like their big palette formula. I don't know if the formulas are supposed to be the same or not, but like to me they're not. I always like the smaller palettes. So like this palette right here, I like this one. I feel like if I bought the other smaller palettes, I would like those as well. So I was trying to debate if maybe I should just get the smaller ones and stop trying to buy the bigger ones because I really like this one. I like the cake one okay, and I didn't like the last one they came out with. But I'm going to try it again with a different base and hope for better. But I feel like this brand shined this year as well because they came out with so many products and people seem to be engaged and really excited and buying them. Plus, I feel like they always find a good way to market things. Like they come up with those little food boxes and it's like a certain food after each palette they launch. So I guess after they sell a certain amount of palettes and they feel like they didn't sell enough, what they'll do is they'll put together the little box or whatever and then get people to buy it that way. And then they can clear out the rest of their older stock and bring in newer stock. In my personal mind, I feel like that's what they do and that's why they have the boxes that they have. Because to me, when companies have mystery boxes and things like that, that's why they do it. Because certain products that they have that would not sell as well, so they put them in a mystery box and then have this mystery of like, oh, well, what am I going to get from this brand? Like, and then they just offload all the stuff that they didn't necessarily sell that well. My personal opinion, that's what's in the boxes. I've never bought a mystery bag or box, so I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I'm curious to see what's in the Trend Mood mystery boxes, though. I didn't buy any, but I'm hoping KK bought one. That's Colorful Camille, and I can watch her video on it, or some other YouTubers that I watch bought one just so I can have an idea of what was in the box. So I'm just curious, but it's like I didn't want to buy it, especially when there was stuff on Black Friday that I know I could get, that I knew I wanted. So I didn't buy one, but I'm praying that someone else did just because I'm genuinely curious. The next brand I have to talk about is Alamar Cosmetics. I feel like they had an sensational year this year. They came out with the Spanglish palette. Then they came out with the Too Faced palettes just now. Then they found their way into Target. So I am extremely happy for this brand. This is their very first palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. I believe they've changed the packaging to where it's like a clear packaging as opposed to this one. But I really like the brand. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of their eyeshadow formula, but I love like their face palettes, like when they do the blush palette and the bronzer palette. I'm still waiting on her to do highlighter palettes. Like, honey, we need you to come through with these highlighter palettes. You've already gave the girls the lip gloss. You've already gave them the lip pencils. I think she has I don't think she has liquid lipsticks. As far as I know, she only has lip liners and lip glosses, which I still have not tried the lip glosses or the lip liners. I know I'm ashamed don't look at me. But I do have their eye brushes. I have their face brushes, and I have their face palette. So I really love the way she does face products. I feel like they look beautifully on the skin, and I love that because she's a makeup artist, she makes colors that work for each set of skin tones, and she does it in palette form where it's like 3 different things that every skin tone can wear. I truly appreciate it, and I will be getting the rest of them sometime soon. I don't know when, but sometime soon. Let's see. The next brand I feel like shined this year was Nomad Cosmetics. Now, again, this palette is currently on sale for $22, so you should try to go grab it with the quickness. I don't know when this video is going up, but I told y'all already before to go grab it in the Black Friday one, so if I'm telling you now and it's too late, it wasn't like I didn't tell you before, so. Anyway, this is what the inside of the palette looks like. I think it looks really, really nice. I like it. I did the video for you all if you were interested in what it looks like, and this is actually the first Nomad palette I bought. I had been looking at the brand for a while, and I wanted it with the Harajuku palette, and I actually bought that one during Black Friday, so that should be coming my way soon. But this one I really like, and I like the quality of it. I don't know what I expected the quality of the palette to be like, but the quality of that one was like sensational and phenomenal and wonderful, and I was like, I need to get more palettes from these people. Now, I am nervous about the Harajuku palette just because of the color story of it. It's more of a pastel type situation. And although I love pastels, pastels don't necessarily love me. So it's just kind of like, But I feel like their brand did exceptionally well just because, you know, of the way they marketed it. Now, some brands, I feel like they market extremely well. And I feel like some brands are quite interactive with their customers and find out what they want and, you know, actually give good deals and things like that. And I feel like Nomad is one of those brands that does that. So the next brand I want to talk about is Cara Beauty. So I feel like I found out about Cara Beauty through It's Glam XO Beauty. She had put a post up on them and talked about the brand, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try them out, because I forgot what past she posted. I think she posted their High Times collection or their cannabis collection, and I got a couple of those palettes, and I was actually impressed with the color story. Now, the formula of them, I wasn't that impressed with. I feel like they're really difficult to blend and work with, but I feel like as they've been selling more palettes, the formula's gotten better. Like the formula in this one is better than those. These are the, I forgot, this was their summer collection, and this is Beach Days and Summer Stunner. So the only thing I feel like with their brand is I feel like a lot of color stories look the same, and they have this bad habit of having a whole bunch of pressed glitters in it. Like 1, 2, 3. I don't want all these pressed glitters. Stop doing that. It's annoying. And then we have the Summer Stunner. And I didn't get all 3 of them because one of the palettes looked similar to like one had came out the time before, or one I already had. And as a matter of fact, they had a purple palette that was really similar to their Purple Haze palette that came in their cannabis collection. So I was just kind of like, why do I need both of them? So that would be my only complaint about this brand. I feel like their color stories really run together really similarly. And there was another palette I was going to buy that was bigger, but it was really similar to this palette here. It's part of their holiday collection they have out now. The Life of the Fiesta is the one I bought. That's the one I did the really pretty eye look on IG that you all seem to really like. So I really like Cara Beauty. I feel like they're growing quite nicely. But I feel like they're trying to be like ColourPop though and come up with a whole bunch of stuff at one time. And it's like, I don't know how well that's going to work, because it's like, I feel like ColourPop formulates their own shadows. And I don't feel like that they necessarily do that. I'm not saying they're private label. I don't know. Amy Loves Makeup has a whole video about stuff like that. I didn't look into the brand enough to see if that was what they were doing. But it's like, I feel like their shadow formula isn't as good as ColourPop. But they're constantly coming out with a whole bunch of stuff like ColourPop. So it's like, I don't know how to feel about it, but I do like the brand, so I will continue buying it. And I definitely feel like you should check out the brand. I know one of you all told me that you had found it at TJ Maxx and bought it because I had made the video about it, and I'm glad you liked it, because I definitely feel like they are a brand you should look out for, and they did shine this 2020 in spite of everything that went on. So I definitely wanted to mention them. Another brand I felt like shined was Hip Dot. Now, I don't buy a whole bunch of Hip Dot, but y'all, when I saw this palette, I was like, yes, Hip Dot, yes, please. I need it. And I feel like we all know why. It's like it's a gorgeous pink and purple palette. I have done, I think, a couple of looks with this palette. I think I did one on YouTube, and then I did one on Instagram. I haven't really used it since, just because I have lots of pink and purple palettes that I have to use right now. And it wasn't like the formula of this was super amazing, but I did like the color story. And I'm liking a lot of the other things they're launching. Like, they just launched some highlighter palettes, and I'm definitely feeling those. So I want to go ahead and grab those. But I feel like this brand is like on the rise. They ended up getting themselves into Ulta, so congratulations to them. And that's why I feel like they're on the rise, because it's like they're making moves and they're getting in actual like buildings. Now I think it's only on Ulta.com. They're not actually in the Ulta stores, but I still feel like that's a step in the right direction for them, and it's definitely a good look. And I think that they have shined quite well this 2020, so I wanted to mention them as well. The next one I have is Alter Ego. So they actually, I feel like, launched this year, if I remember correctly. Didn't they launch this year, or did they launch at the end of last year? I don't know, but I know they have 4 palettes. This is just the last one they came out with, so I figured I'd show this one, especially since this is a dupe for Natasha's known as last year holiday palette. Now I don't like the formula of this palette just because it's the cream to powder shadows, and I don't like cream to powder shadow finishes. I don't like Natasha's palettes either. The last one she came out with was the best cream to shadow formula she has, and it's trio chrome or trichrome, whichever one you like to call it. But this one I did not like. I do like a couple of their I do like one of their palettes though. It's the Aura palette. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Sunrise palette, that the first mini palette that Natasha came out with. But this brand was out before. They were known as Bad Habit before, and they just changed over to Alter Ego because I guess they got sued and they had to stop selling under Bad Habit, so they made Alter Ego and kept doing the same thing. My advice is just don't be trying to do Pat McGrath again, because you notice as soon as they started doing Pat McGrath was when they got shut down. Before, when they was just duping Natasha and Huda and everybody, like nobody was saying anything. But as soon as they started duping Pat McGrath, you notice they got shut down. So, Alter Ego, just don't try to do Pat McGrath again, and then you should be fine. And I've heard that the Bad Habit brand is turning into a skincare brand, so it's called Bad Habit Skin now. So I guess they didn't fully dissolve the brand. They're just going to use some of the money from the Alter Ego brand to go to that one. This is just conspiracy theory, me talking now. I don't actually know that as fact. That's just my theory on the matter. Because I noticed they haven't come up with anything in a while, but now Bad Habit Skin is coming out with something. And Bad Habit Skin has become a thing. So I'm thinking that they're going to use some of the money from there to go over there. But again, this is conspiracy theory. I don't know it for a fact. But I know this brand did shine in 2020 just because people missed Bad Habit so much. And then they came out under another name and came back, and they was like back in the game. They're currently having 25% off sale if anybody's interested. But I feel like, you know, people usually buy their stuff when it first launches because it's so reasonably priced. So you wouldn't have to necessarily buy it now. But because of the hard times that we're in right now with jobs and everything like that, you might have to wait till now to buy it. So that's why I wanted to mention that it's 25% off right now. Now, I think everybody's sale ends on Monday. So I'm going to try to have this video up as a bonus video on Sunday. So that way you can get an idea of what's going on sale. Or maybe I'll make this my 12 o'clock video on Monday, and then you can just get it before the sales end. But yeah. Next brand I have to talk about is Diypansy. So this brand just popped up out of nowhere, and everybody is talking about it, and everybody's here for it, and everybody's loving it. Or at least a lot of the YouTubers I follow are loving it. So this is what the palette looks like. This is the Soul Main palette. I also have the Alva 1 and 2. You all just saw the video for the Alva 2. Sometime this week. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. You saw that video. But yeah. I do like this palette, okay? I prefer the Alva and the Alva 2 palettes better just because of the color story. I feel like this color story isn't as cohesive, and I won't wear it as often as the Alva palette. Like, I'd wear the Alva palette as my regular, like, everyday palette because we know, I'm the Mauve tone girl. I love them. They're having a 40% off sale right now themselves. I think theirs started on Black Friday like everybody else, and it ends on Cyber Monday, if I remember correctly. So if you want to check out that brand, you definitely should. Now, another brand that I feel like did really well in 2020 or shine through social media and promoting their brand is this brand Muse Beauty or Muse Beauty. I feel like they did a great job of promoting their brand and making me interested, because it's like I saw this palette and I was like, I was intrigued. I heard Karen Harris talking about it, and they had sent it over to her. So I waited till they had a sale. I think the palette was on sale for like $30 or something, and it's normally like $42, or it was $35. It was $35, $31, something like that. And then they had a coupon. I think I used Welcome or Welcome 10, and they got me extra 10% off. So I ended up paying $30 for this palette, which I thought was like a good deal for the quality of it. It's a nice palette. They just came out with another palette, the Van Gogh palette, and people seem to be receiving the brand pretty well. So I like the message that's behind it and the fact of the uniqueness with the art as opposed to it just being, you know, another brand. And I feel like the outside of the palette matches the inside of the palette quite well, which I can actually appreciate. I mean, like now the oranges and the browns, I don't necessarily see when you look at the front of the palette, but everything else matches it pretty well. So I like it. I'm interested to see what else they have. I didn't buy the Van Gogh palettes that they just came out with because it looks really similar to the Dark Edit by Viseart, as well as the what is the Dark Matte palette from Viseart, and a few other palettes that I have just because we know that's my color aesthetic. So I didn't necessarily need it. It looks like the Lethal Cosmetics palette that just came out, the Karen Harris literally reviewed today. I watched it before I started this video. And then it looks like a few other palettes that are in my collection. So I didn't buy it just because, you know, it was $30-something and I felt that was kind of high considering I have those colors like in like 3 palettes that I just named. So I didn't buy it, but I feel like the brand does a good job of representing itself, and I definitely gonna see what else they're gonna come out with after that. And I feel like they did a pretty good job of shining in 2020 despite of all that was going on. It was another brand I was, oh yeah, so this one brand I forgot to pull out. I'm glad it's sitting right next to me. Ace Beauté. I feel like they did a great job here in 2020. They came out with the Nostalgic palette. They came out with Oceanic, was it last year or the end of last year? And I feel like the brand is just growing and flourishing. I can't wait to see what palette they come out with next. This is the Slice of Paradise. They're having a 45% off sale right now, though. This is one of my favorite color stories from them. I would love to mash this up with the Nostalgic palette. So I'm actually thinking about ordering the Nostalgic palette before Cyber Monday gets here. I was going to order the bundle with it and Oceanic and just put the Oceanic palette in the giveaway, but they sold out of it before I got a chance to get it because I had a certain amount of stuff I was buying during Black Friday, and I was like, we're going to stick to the budget. I mean, we blew the budget a little bit, but it wasn't by like a whole lot, so I'm not like super concerned about it. But I did get the majority of the stuff I wanted to get, and then I got a surprise pop-up release from another brand I'm going to show you later that I feel like did a great job in 2020, despite them being like a, you know, high-end luxury brand, if you will. So the last indie brand I have to talk about that I feel like did a good job in 2020 despite some things I've heard that I don't necessarily like is Give Me Glow. So I feel like they did an exceptionally well job in 2020 because their stuff was still selling out even during the pandemic. Their palettes were never all in stock at the same time. They just said they recently got them all in stock for Black Friday, and when I went to check their website, it was weird because the new palettes didn't sell out, but like all the older ones weren't. So I feel like that's definitely a show of the economy and the times because normally, whether it's new or old, it usually sells out, and their new ones haven't sold out, but all the old ones have. So I'm figuring people are trying to keep themselves to a budget, and they knew stuff was going to be on sale on Black Friday. So whatever was on sale on Black Friday, they were going to buy, and the other things they left behind that they weren't going to buy because they were like new, and they might have done like I did and had to stick to a budget. But all of these are part of their. Oh, I didn't mean to swatch that. Are part of their pastel, their pretty pastel bundle that they had in the springtime. It was spring or summer, I believe. I was blessed enough to get some because they had like ran out after a certain amount. So they're actually gonna make a palette out of this section right here. These last 4 are just regular singles. This is the first thing I ever bought from Give Me Glow, the shade Frosting. They had came out with a Sweet Tooth collection that they were gonna have for Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, Sugar Rush collection that they were gonna have for Valentine's Day, and then that they found out that Sugar Rush was trademarked by Tarte from that new Sugar Rush brand that they started. So they say the owner of Tarte was nice enough to give them some money back for their packaging and stuff, and they just sold the stuff as singles so that way it wasn't a bust. But yeah, the stuff I heard about this brand recently I didn't like. I told y'all about it in a video, and Tina the Fancy Face actually made a video explaining what I talked about. So I'll try to remember to link that down below. It's called We Broke Up. It was makeup. She's doing a makeup brand series about dating, and she had a We Break Up part on it, and it talked about Give Me Glow and why she was breaking up with them and the experience that she had with the owner personally, which kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So I was kind of just like, do I still want to buy from this brand based on what she said? Because it's like I had seen other people like asking for what she had said, and then she said they reached out to her and they were like very rude. And the man that reached out to her and tried to act like, you know, they didn't want to be bothered. And then they tried to act like she was like overcharging them for all of what she was going to do. And it was just a whole thing. And then after that happened, then the owner went online after she saw the Fancy Faces video, or I guess somebody told her about it or whatever. And they made this long comment thing about it. and then went out her way to make sure that she showed people look like me when it came to swatches on stuff. But it's like people had been asking her to do that for like quite a bit of time, and she never did it. So it was just kind of like a whole situation to where I was like, I just don't want to. But like I said, I'm gonna try to remember to link the Fancy Faces video down below so you can see exactly what happened with it, since it happened to Tina herself. It's not like she has to tell you from someone else's perspective like I'm doing. You can hear directly from the horse's mouth what exactly happened. And it's like the last part of that video, so if you just want to skip to the very end, even though the whole video I think is wonderful, but if you want to skip to the end for the particular part that I'm telling you about when it comes to Give Me Glow, you have to like skip to the pretty much almost the end of the video, because they're the last brand she talks about and she tells that story. Anyway, so the next brand I feel like shined in 2020 was, of course, e.l.f. Cosmetics. And I feel like they especially shine just because of their price point. Because you got to think about it. People in a pandemic, they still need to buy food. They need to pay bills. They need to, you know, like be able to live. And then they still want to have something nice and pretty for themselves every now and again, and they can't necessarily do that. e.l.f. made it to where you could do that. Like right now, this palette is on sale on e.l.f.'s website for $8.40. And I think it was originally like $14 or something like that. But this palette is exceptional. This is like the best e.l.f. palette I have ever tried. And I'm not one who likes e.l.f. shadows like at all. Like I used to like their little Mad for Matte palettes when that first started. Like the Holy Smokes one was my favorite one. Obviously, we all know the color story of the Holy Smokes. If you've seen it, you know it's just me and the palette. But I really like this palette a lot. I think it gives wonderful looks. I gave y'all a nice warm tone look out of this palette. I think I've given y'all a purple cool tone-ish look out of this palette as well. So it is just a really nice palette. Their seriously satin lipsticks are really nice as well. They came up with some nice concealer. I believe the concealer came out this year. The satin version of the 16-hour camo concealer, I believe that came out this year. They had a whole bunch of lip tint stuff that I wasn't necessarily interested in, and lip oils, but I know a lot of people really like that aesthetic right now. So a lot of people were into it and here for it. So they had that going on. And then they've just had a lot of good things come out this year that I was impressed with. Like the lip liners. They had a lip liner set that went with this that is currently on sale for, I think, like $6 or something like that. They just had a lot of good things come out this year, and I think they just shined in 2020 in spite of the circumstances that were going on. But I feel like it was mainly for them because of their price point, because people could still feel pretty and not have to spend a whole bunch of money. And then they were having sales on their website a lot. Like I had plus they dupe some high-end brands. Like they do the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I don't like their dupe of the Tatcha Silk Canvas personally, but, you know, they have a dupe of it if you can't necessarily afford to get that and you still want to experience to try that. I like their dupe of the Skin Tone Blur from Farsali. They have a blurring serum primer, and it feels just like the Skin Tone Blur from Farsali. That stuff is amazing. I would definitely recommend that you try that out. And it's only $10, and right now they're having a 40% off sale, so that makes it like $6. You need to try it for $6, y'all. I'm telling you. It is amazing, and you just need to try it. Sorry, y'all. Palettes are trying to fall as usual. They're just very disrespectful out here in these streets. But yes, they had a lot of great things come out, and that's why I feel like the brand shined, because they were still able to release things. And since they already had things reasonably priced, people were like rushing to grab it. Like, yes, yes, and yes. So the next brand, of course, is BH Cosmetics. So they had a whole bunch of stuff launched this year. And I feel like the thing that just pushed them over the moon were those Sweet Shop's ice cream eyeshadow palettes. And the funny thing was, I wasn't gonna buy them. I was just like, yeah, no, because I think that was like I think that was right after it had came out that they didn't have any black employees. And last time I checked, black educated business people exist, because I am one of them. If you all didn't know, because you might not be one of my older subscribers, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration and my minor's marketing. So black marketers and black business people exist. So the fact that you're trying to tell me you can't find any, I'm not feeling it, and you need to do better. I never really used to buy that much from this brand anyway, though. Like I would buy like brush sets just to start off with, because, you know, I didn't want to spend all the money like I spend now on brushes for like Refer and what is it? I think I only buy Rougher when it comes to high-end brushes. I still buy like, well, I really like my Sigma brushes too. So that's another reason I don't. I usually stick to Sigma and Refer. But anyway, I would start off buying BH Cosmetic brush sets, because, you know, they give you a lot of brushes and they're reasonably priced. And I still have a lot of their sets over there. But it's like, I wasn't feeling the fact that they weren't, but I found out that they didn't have any people that look like me over there. So I can't deny that the quality of their stuff has gotten way better from when I first tried it. Because when I first tried it, it was okay. It wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice. For the price, it'll work just fine. But it's like now for the price, it's like it's actually quite good. This is the Summer and Central palette. I feel like this is a good dupe to the what do you call it? The Riviera palette, in my personal opinion. To me, this is their version of the Riviera palette. And then this, to me, is their version of the Radioactive palette from Melt Cosmetics. Because as you can see, it has the green, blue, purple kind of like rainbowish vibe to it. And when I think of rainbow palettes, like the one I usually want to reach for is like the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette, or the Radioactive palette from Melt. So that's what this gives me the vibes of. But this is one of my favorite palettes from them. I also like the Blueberry Muffin and the Avocado Toast. The Mimosa is okay, but the Sweet Shop palettes are definitely the best that they have to offer. And I heard they're supposed to be coming back with those in December. So next month, those palettes should be back. Matter of fact, in like a couple of days. I don't know exactly when. I think I heard December the 7th. Don't quote me though. They have it on their page though, where you can click on the shadow and they'll notify you when it comes back in stock. So I definitely think you should look into it if you are interested in getting those. I got the 4 I wanted to get. Thank goodness. I think I bought mine from Ulta, or I bought it from BH Cosmetics. No, I bought it from Ulta, and then I had like a coupon, and then I had, I think, like free money or something like that. So I ended up only paying like, I think $40 for all of them, or it was some kind of deal I got, where I ended up getting all 4 of the palettes I wanted. Because of course I don't like orange, so I didn't buy the orange one. And then I don't like neutral, so I didn't buy the brown one. But I got the blue, the green, the pink and purple, and then the red one. Now they still had the red one at Ulta last time I checked, but it might have sold out by now. They had the red one and the pink one left. But the pink one, I'm pretty sure I remember sold out at Ulta too. So you just have to wait for them to come back. But they had an exceptional year this year with all the eyeshadow palettes that they released that actually had way better formulas than they've had before. So I feel like they rose through the ashes like a phoenix here in 2020, and I figured I should mention them. So now we're gonna finally get into my, you know, my what do you call them? My makeup artist brands, and then my high-end brands, and then we're gonna be done. So I'm gonna do my high-end brands because, believe it or not, the rest of these are like makeup artists geared toward or makeup artist owned brands. So we're going to get into Melt Cosmetics. Y'all know I had to do it. Y'all know I had to talk about it. Melt has had an exceptional year. Like, they ended the year with a bang. They said, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. How about that? So, I love Beetlejuice. My son's over here just shaking his head like, Mommy's so lame. Because that's what that said to me. Him over there shaking his head.
I just don't like the movie. It's trash.
Please don't come attack us because Adriangameover doesn't like Beetlejuice. Because Mommy does like Beetlejuice. He doesn't like it. I feel like he doesn't understand it because he's a child, and that's why he doesn't like it. But you know, we all know Beetlejuice is fire. Anyway, so Melt Cosmetics is doing it to us, giving us the holiday collection that's expected. I want to do a Dear Melt Cosmetics video when I get the Beetlejuice collection, because y'all know when I do the Dear whatever brand collection, I tell them what I want to see from the brand in the future. So I'm feeling like with the Beetlejuice one, I'm gonna do that because it's like, there's plenty of other movies I feel like that they should do in particular just because of the aesthetic of their brand. So I'm gonna do a Dear Melt Cosmetics featuring the Beetlejuice palettes, and then we're gonna talk about all the stuff I feel like they should do for their holiday collections for years to come. Anyway, moving on. They had an exceptional year. They got put in Sephora. They came out with all these palettes. The only thing about coming out with a lot of palettes is some of the formulas weren't as good as other ones. Like, I heard the Millennial Pinks was terrible. I didn't buy it because a lot of the pinks in there wouldn't necessarily work for my skin tone. I'm like, if I can get it on sale for a really good deal, like if it goes 50% off on Sephora, like the Vita palette did, then I'll go ahead and buy it that way. But I'm not just going to buy it. But I would like to add it to my collection because Melt is one of those few brands I do actually try to collect a majority of the palettes. Not every single one, because I don't like 27. I'm not buying 27. I don't want any parts of 27. I'm sorry. It's just one of those corally warm tone situations that I don't want any part of. But I actually have some of the colors of this palette on my eyes right now. I have the Tribe palette as far as the crease colors go. And then on the lid, I have this shade right here, and then underneath the lower lash line, I know you can't tell because I put primer underneath there, but I have this shade right here, and then I dusted this shade right here over the colors that are in my crease right now. So I used some of this palette today. The only thing is I feel like it fades a bit, so Like, I feel like this shade, as you see how bright it is in the pan, now you see how dark it is on my lid. Not to mention, I feel like it has faded away some because I've taken it up higher and I feel like the shadow has just disappeared. So I don't know what's going on with that. But to me, this is more of a companion palette than it is like a palette I would use on my own, unless you're going to go for the darker shades. Now, if you're just going to go for the darker shades and then pull a shimmer from another palette, I feel like this would be fine. But for $58, you don't want to just, you know, have to use the darker shades and pull from another palette and use these as lower lash lines. But for me, that's most likely what I'm going to have to do with this palette, because as you can see, on my lid, it's not popping too much. When I first put it on, it was a little bit more popping this, but not by much. But I still love Melt. My favorite palettes from Melt, if anyone is curious, I like Radioactive, Smoke Session. The Impulse palette is okay. It's not like anything exceptional to me, but I think I got mine for like when they had it for 50% off. I know a lot of people bought it when it went to $25 because it was originally their anniversary palette. They launched at, I think it was Sephora, and it was like $60 or something. I don't like the layout of the palette, which is why I don't necessarily recommend it. But I still think this brand did exceptional this year and sold quite a bit of things and rose to the ashes of what we call 2020. Because I feel like a lot of brands have not, just like a lot of YouTubers have not. Like, they've been disappearing left and right. Like, some people I saw hadn't uploaded in 7 months. And I'm like, so, like, as soon as the pandemic started, you were just like, no. Like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So, the next brand I feel like rose through the ashes is Viseart. I bought quite a few Viseart palettes. If y'all know, I just did the Viseart review for the little mini palettes. Then I bought this Dark Edit palette from Beauty Bay because it was on sale, and I had been wanting this one for a while, and I finally got my hands on it. This is the smaller version of my Dark Edit. So this is, I mean, my Dark Matte palette. So this is, I feel like would be a good companion one for this one because it has a little bit more brighter ones, but it still has cooler tones, and the tones aren't the same. Like, this is a navy blue, but it doesn't look as navy as this one does. So this one be like a deeper version to deepen up this one, and I feel like these are going to be great side-by-side companion palettes. Aside from the fact this one has shimmers in it on the bottom that this one doesn't have, so it's like I could use all the mattes in here and just pull this one and put the shimmers on. But I have them separated. Like, this one lives here at my grandmother's house, and then this one lives at home, because at the end of the day I do have the Decadence palette from Pat McGrath, so I will most likely just be using that with that palette or with my other Viseart palettes. But I feel like they did a great job this year. They came out with like quite a few palettes. They had, I think, 2 fall palettes. They had 1 summer palette. I didn't get a chance to get the Choo Choo palette, unfortunately. I'm hoping they bring it back, but if they don't, that's okay too. I got those 2 little miniature palettes, and then they just came out with another purple palette that's exclusive to their website. And they started doing this 1.5 pan thing instead of like the 2 pans like in there. And I think these are supposed to be 1 pan, so it's 1.5. It's right in between this one and the one I just showed you. I'm loving where they're taking their branding and what they're doing with the brand. I'm definitely here for it. And I'm hoping they come up with more color stories that work better for everyone's skin tone, because those palettes that they just came out with, the pink one worked okay, but I feel like I would have to use it with other Viseart palettes in order to get a look. And if it's supposed to be a small 4 petite that I can take with me on the go to do an eye look, I don't feel like any of them besides the brown tone ones work for people my skin tone. And since I'm clearly sitting here with color and I'm all about color, I just wasn't necessarily happy with those, because I still feel like I'd have to incorporate other things to make them work. So that one was a bust for people my skin tone, in my personal opinion, unless you bought the set from Sephora. They have a $27 set at Sephora with the pink framboise and the chocolate one that would work well for you. But otherwise, I don't think it's gonna necessarily be, you know, that great a deal for you if you buy those, unless you're of a lighter skin tone. If my skin tone, the only ones you can use most likely is the neutral ones and maybe the pink one. But I felt like the pink in there wasn't even that deep. So to me, those are more like put a matte all over the lid looks, put your bronzer in the crease, and then in a corner if you're trying to do like a quick to go look, because otherwise that ain't working for me. Another brand that I feel like did an exceptional job this year is Patrick Ta. Honey, he came through with these blushes, and I was like, yes, Patrick, honey, I need all of them. And I did. And if you all remember, I did the review on all 4 of these. So this is She's So LA. So as you can see, it's a cream. And then the powder underneath. Now, I will say I am disappointed with his holiday collection, because it's like a glossy bomb. Like, Patrick, you could have gave us some pressed highlighters. You could have gave us some holiday red lip color set. Like, why did you give us a glossy bomb? So it's like, I feel like he did okay for the things he did release. It's just, I was totally disappointed with his holiday collection. Like, I'm over here looking for him to have more spray highlighters and maybe like a red lipstick to join the pink lipstick he just had in like liquid form or something. And he gave me a glossy balm. I'm like, but who asked you for this? I did. I didn't ask you for this. I'm so sorry. No. The next brand I have is Makeup by Mario. So this is not one of the ones I necessarily like, but this is Bronzite. It's one of those shimmery highlighter shades that you put on the eyes, if you will. I don't necessarily like this. I have the palettes I like better from him. His palettes are currently on sale for like $14. The little quads he just came out with for holiday. So instead of paying the $25 from Sephora or trying to use a 15% off coupon that they're gonna give when you buy $50 worth, you can just go to his website and get them for $14 a piece, which means if you get the whole set, I think it's only like $40 for all three, which is a steal because I paid $65 for the whole set just to give you all the review when it first came out. So I definitely feel like his brand is doing well, considering it launched during a crisis year. I think he's done a good job of marketing it, and plus, you know, he's Makeup by Mario, so I feel like it's some his techniques and things are helping him market his products as well, which is good for the brand. The last brand I have to talk about, and I feel like we should all know who it is because you have not seen this woman through this video, and I'm always talking about this lady. I'm always trying to use this palette I'm about to show you. So we have Miss Pat McGrath. I love Mother Pat. And this is Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity Palette. You feel like I would know the name of it by now, as much as I have talked about it this year. It's only been out for like, I want to say 2 months. But I have used it like at least 10 times, I want to say. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's absolutely stunning. Again, we already know if you all have these two palettes from Star Wars, then, you know, I don't know if you necessarily need to get this. I love it though, and they had it on sale on her website for like $58. And $58 is way better than $78. So I definitely feel like you should check it out. But I feel like she did a great job overall with her launches this year, as far as how she executed them. Now how she got the product to you, I'm not saying they did a good job with that at all. Y'all heard my horror story about the highlighter and how I didn't get it in my order when I first ordered it. So I'm not saying that, like, as far as the delivery of it was good. I'm saying the execution and how the products performed for the most part. The only palette I was disappointed in this year was the Rose Decadence one. That's the tiny 6-pan one that she came out with. But everything else I was fine with. Like the Divine Rose, I like that one. Divine Rose 2 with Sextrovert. Oh my God, it's amazing. This palette, I'm truly obsessed with. I know the formula of it isn't exactly the same, but it's still quite a good formula for, you know, it being Pat McGrath, and I just absolutely love this palette. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video of me talking about brands I feel like rose to the top. But I feel like Mother's packaging and marketing is always on point when it comes to her things. Plus, I feel like you always know her quality is going to be consistent. So if you're paying that higher price, you know that it's going to be high quality. Not to mention, she gives you a discount when you first buy something, whenever you buy it, which is another thing I always appreciate about her. She's always giving you 10% off. Okay, I don't care what's going on. She always gives you 10% off. She says she'll knock them taxes off for you, sis. Don't even worry about it. You'll just pay for this product and she'll ship it to you for free on top of that. So that's one of the things I do like about buying her products when they first come out. I don't care that it doesn't necessarily show up with the 2-day shipping, because I know that I'm going to get that free shipping always. And then I'm going to get those taxes paid. So I'm literally just paying for this product and not the taxes. That's one of the great marketing tools I feel like she always uses, because she's like, yeah, I'll give you 10% off. Taxes in Illinois is 10.25. So it's like, I know I'm getting that 10% off of this palette. So this palette is literally, I'm just paying for the palette and I'm getting it shipped to me for free. So that's a great marketing thing that I feel like Pat McGrath does with her brand. And I wish more luxury brands would do that, because it's like, I feel like people would want to buy from their website when it first launches more than waiting for it to come to Sephora if they had that same, you know, business model that Pat McGrath has, where you just get it for, you pay for the item and you don't you don't necessarily pay for the taxes on it, and then she ships it to you for free. But in all fairness, Mother is a billionaire, so I mean, like, she can afford to do that. Anyway, like I was saying though, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are dimes. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.